Hello and welcome to another guitar channel. Another guitar channel is taking you to East Germany again. Not really, because East Germany doesn't exist, so we cannot go there. We can go to the eastern part of the country called Germany. But sonic-wise, because of the guy who's called Tim Webster and who lives in Britain, in London, North London, we can go on a trip to the old-fashioned sounds from behind the Iron Curtain. Tim is fascinated by those time and by those era, especially sonic-wise. Of course, he's not like a communist, because who's clever already know that communism doesn't really work. But the effects from this era, I mean, the sounds from this era and the equipment from this era doesn't really work as well. And I will never understand. No, I got some kind of understanding, but actually I will never understand why Tim, who's the builder of guitar effects, branded Fredric Effects, why is he fascinated by all this stuff, which for me is a nightmare of my childhood and the youth. You know, when I was starting to play. And it was the end of the communism in Poland, and actually all the things that you could have bought by then was stuff from East Germany, from Czechoslovakia, from Poland, and it was all so crappy. And for me, it's like a nightmare. But for Tim, who was growing with, you know, already quite good quality stuff sold in England, this is something which is quite fascinating, and it's like making him looking for the sounds there when he couldn't look for them back in the past, and actually, you know, nobody knew about it. So that's from this era, from this point of view, actually I can understand the fascination of this era by him. But actually maybe I won't tell anymore. No, actually it is good that someone is trying to resemble all those sounds. That he was trying to make like a fast from East Germany. Now he's trying to do something else as well than everybody else in the world making effects. So he's not copying another Tube Screamer, he's not copying another DS1 from Boss or Clone Centaur. I think Clone Centaur actually he is in some way, and maybe even the TS9. But anyway, he's not only going with the path which is already, you know, like with lots of other footsteps from other people. He is trying to find his own way as well, which is good. And what we have here today is the effect called Regent. It's called Regent, not Regent. German people would say Regent, and actually in Poland we call it Regent as well. 150, 150, and as you can see, it's called Regent Regent 150 preamp. And what it is, it's not a typical effect for the guitarists, but guitarists can use it in some extent. And actually it is preamp taken from the East German power amp. So there was like power amp called Regent 150, which you could connect keyboards, or you could connect microphones to, of course, because of lack of other equipment. People were as well connecting guitars to it, but it didn't work properly. But actually it was like a power amp for some kind of small. I wouldn't call it conferences. It would be rather the gatherings of, you know, the Communistic Party talking bullshit propaganda that everything is good when everything was not good. But anyway, and what Tim has done with it, he took out the preamp of it, so just like one strip of the mixer or whatever, and he decided that he will make out of it he will make like a effect just in a stomp box, you know, to be used with the guitar or bass guitar. And that's what he did. And when he did that, actually he was asking me like, you know, check it out, you knew how it sounded. I don't really remember, except the fact that I remember it sounded crappy, but I don't really remember exactly how it sounded by then. But actually when I switched it on, the memories came to me back, and actually I've started to remember, oh yeah, that's how it sounded. So he did a good job, because it gives you the character, it gives you the voice of this kind of preamp that was used by then. Could you use it now? Yes and no. Of course yes, because if you are open-minded guitarist, if you are looking for new sounds, if you are looking for new riffs inspired by some gear, if you are looking for something extraordinary and original, you would find this effect useful, and you would find this effect making you be more creative. If you are not like that, and if you are looking for, you know, proper metal sound, proper rock sound and things which are already known, and you're not gonna discover anything, then this effect is not for you. What does it make? So first I wanted to check if it can be like a booster for already distorted channel. I've connected it to Mesa Boogie single rectifier. I've put like a red channel, distorted channel with not so much of a gain, and I started to use the equalizer, and I started to use the volume here. To some settings of the volume, it was working like a booster, but not like a typical booster, and it didn't give me the sound that I was actually expecting, so it wasn't working like that. When I put the volume and all the knobs up to the top, it started making very, very strange but those inspiring sounds I'm talking about, you know, I've talked about before. And actually it was like the speaker was blocked, like the cable was broken, but in a good way, because it was quite controllable. You could control it with your playing, with your articulation. You could control this effect, so it wasn't happening just because, you know, something happened inside and actually you didn't know what to do and how to control it. When I was like playing a little bit, you know, how you articulated and how dynamic I was, how I articulated and how dynamic I was playing, it was reading it and actually, you know, turning it into different sounds. Still with the distorted channel, absolutely nothing that you could use more than once. Then I've decided that I'll try like a crunch channel, and I've decided that I will, like, you know, use it with this kind of very, very low gain sounds. It worked a little bit more normal, but still different. Why different? Because this EQ here is very, 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 very strange. First of all, when you go like into zero with both of them, and you set your volume on the same level like when the effect is off and on, actually it's quite transparent, and actually it is almost the same when you switch it on and off, and actually it doesn't really change anything. So when they're on zero, and then you just add bass and treble. Then you just add it, and actually it changes everything. They don't work like a normal bass and treble that you know. They work differently. They give quite special sound, and actually it's, for me in English, it's hard to even explain how it sounds, so you will need to listen to it. Again, when I was like putting the volume up to the top, it gave the boost, and actually it distorted the crunch channel a little bit more, but still not in the way that actually you can expect it from the booster. Then I've switched it on to the clean channel, and then fun, very nice things happen. First of all, it is making the electric guitar sounding like almost the closest thing that I can tell, like a combination of very light and you know, like very quiet ring modulator with acoustic simulator. But that's the closest thing that I can actually find the words for. It's not exactly what it sounds like, so it's not any of those. It's not ring modulator and it's not acoustic simulator, but it gives some kind of the body to the sound that in some way it's like making the guitar sounding, electric guitar sound a little bit different than you expecting. It gives some kind of bigger bass, and actually the treble is as well different. Like I'm saying, this equalization is not the ordinary equalization that you can find. Again, when you go with the volume a little bit more as well, it gets louder, but it's not like louder but actually it will, you know, if you cannot use it up to the top, it's still louder, and in the same time it's some kind of gain. That's how I can explain it. This sound is usable. This sound is something which was, I think, out of all those sounds when I was playing on the electric guitar, out of all those sounds, that was the best one actually that I've achieved. And actually I was like, oh wow, that's something the most useful out of this effect. The less you know, the less usage of it you can find when you play with distorted channel with no gain. You could be, you know, impressed by it and use it. And then I've decided actually I will jump to the bass guitar, and actually I've connected it to Audience Sono, which is a good interface for bassists and the guitarist. And actually down there I had like a Ampeg cabinet, and I played bass through it, and I've used this like a preamp. And actually, to be honest with you, it was working. The best out of all those tests is the bass. When I was playing the bass, that was like the best of the best, you know, for this effect. Remember, it is not made for the guitar originally, and it's taken out of the PA. And PA is something which is close to bass amplifier. And probably people were using it with bass back then, and it gives some kind of nice body here as well. What I would need to say, in some ways, when you put the bass on the top on this effect, actually it did sound a little bit as well like octave, but without the sub octave. Like I'm saying, it's hard to explain the sound. You need to hear it. So actually, that's what it is. It's quite an interesting effect. And actually, to be honest with you, I think in some studios which are working with producers, and which when band is coming into the studio, and actually they're looking not only to record the stuff, but as well they're looking for some kind of inspiration, and they're looking to make some songs in the studio. In those situations, this effect can make a song. Like I'm saying, always with those special sounding effects when I'm testing them. Vezera from Fredric and many others. KHDK Scars Phases. Scars, it was called Scars or something like that. Was quite like that from this range as well. Like I'm always saying, they can inspire you to create something which was never created before. So that's what it is, guys. I've used two guitars. I'll show you them. One of the guitar I've used is Samick Sylvia from JTR's series, not produced anymore. Beautiful V-shape instrument, absolutely amazing. You know, if you're looking for a good quality outstanding instrument, you know, V-shape for metal, go for it. It's in drop C tuning. And then I've used as well another V-shape, and my another V-shape is handmade in Poland by the luthier called Michał Wojtas. watched us. Guitars, and actually this is some kind of this instrument. Nobody else has the instrument like that in the world. He's not making two the same instrument. It's always like only one with my special inlays as well from my another guitar channel, which is in Polish. Like I said, Mesa Boogie single rectifier, audience channel with bass. Bass was a Yamaha TRB5. Thank you for watching. If you like it, it's very good that you like it. Spread the word. Bye.